Hi, welcome to the House Rules. I'm Stephen Doughty.
I'm Stella Creasy.
And we thought that this week we'd answer some of the questions that we've been getting in. So the first question we've been asked actually is, why did you both choose to join the Cooperative Party in addition to the Labour Party?
Wait, what? We're members of two political parties? That can't stand. That can't stand. I get this all the time. I don't know about you, Stephen. The Co-op Party is a sister party to the Labour Party. So it is two separate political parties that we represent in Parliament. That goes back over 100 years now to an agreement between the Co-op Party and the Labour Party that rather than compete against each other, they shared so much in common, they should join together in standing people for Parliament.
The cooperative movement is probably best known for the cooperative shops and
co-op insurance as well.
Co-op insurance, cooperative funeral care, things like that.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a much bigger movement than that. And as Cooperative Party MPs, we want to see more co-ops taking hold in all areas of society, in business, in organising community services, because they're a way of organising things that involve people in the decisions.
So it's called mutualism. It's where everybody has a stake, not just in the outcomes, but in the organisation itself that's running things. So whether it's care homes that are run both by the people who work there and the people who are living there, or credit unions, a big part of the co-op movement, where communities lend money to each other and the community themselves manage that bank. It's all about the impact that you can have when everybody takes responsibility, not just for what happens, but also how it happens.
So we've also been asked, outside of the Commons, is it really all as tribal as it seems, or can MPs work across party? They might have a row with each other in the House of Commons chamber or in a committee, but actually there's a lot of respect across the party lines. And I think when people have different ideas and they disagree about them, that doesn't mean that they have to be disagreeable.
Yeah.
And actually you find that you can talk with other MPs about issues of mutual concern. I, for example, do a lot of work on issues affecting our armed forces and veterans, and a lot of that is done on a cross-party basis.
So recently I've been doing a lot of work on trying to get sex and relationship education into the national curriculum, and there are Conservatives who agree on that. Working with them isn't about diluting my ideas, it's about supporting them and finding ways to collaborate together to achieve the thing that we both think is in the best interests of the country. And I think the question also reflects that perhaps the way in which we do politics in this country doesn't really show you that that's actually what's going on a day-to-day basis in the House of Commons and in the country more generally. Prime Minister's Question Time isn't a good shop window, I think, if we're honest about it, where you don't see the best of that thought process and those ideological debates and that commitment to try and get things right, even if you disagree on what the right thing might be. So I think I would say on behalf of all MPs, we get it. We get that the shouting and the anger probably isn't the best way to show that we're trying to work for the best interests. And then the final question we've been asked is, what will happen if Parliament rejects the Article 50 deal that the Prime Minister's coming up with? So, Stephen, what do you think will happen?
Well, to be honest, we have absolutely no idea. This is completely uncharted territory. One of the possibilities is we would go into what's called World Trade Organization rules. So, World Trade Organization governs some of the processes around trade between countries, and if you're not part of a free trade area or something like the European Union or have an agreement, it's kind of a default position. The problem with World Trade Organization rules is that they can lead to very significant tariffs being imposed, and also there can be penalties. The idea that that we're not part of any kind of rules system about trade, I think is a fantasy really, and the reality is that we might find ourselves in a very difficult situation, or at least some industries could find themselves in a very difficult situation.
Or the Prime Minister could decide that she wants to call a general election, because if we don't agree with that deal, she wants to give it to the public to make a decision. None of us know what's going to happen. It's why it's one of the questions we've been asking the Prime Minister about that process. Well, if you trigger Article 50 and the deal that you get back from Europe isn't a good deal for Britain, and people say it isn't a good deal for Britain, what happens next? We just don't know. So those are 3 of your questions that we've tried to answer this week. I hope you've liked the answers. Please do keep asking us questions, as long as you're comfortable that your mum or your dad would be happy to see you asking us questions of a Member of Parliament.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can subscribe down here, you can like the video, you can comment, we're always pleased to see your comments. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please do share the video, like it, and of course you can put comments on as well. And of course get in touch with us in the usual ways, on email, on Twitter, on Facebook, and we'll do our best to answer some more questions next week.